Thor 2. Now, in this film, Thor and Loki are much more evolved, you could say, than they are in the first film. Because in the first Thor film, it really felt like that the writers, they were just playing it safe. You know, they didn't quite know what to do with the character of Thor, and so they played it very safe, and it definitely showed in the first film. Thankfully, in Avengers, Thor and Loki were given much more to do. And so in Thor 2, it feels like the natural progression of these characters. Because Loki is just as crazy as he was in Avengers. Thor still has his sense of humour that he seemed to have acquired in the Avengers. And it certainly made Thor 2 The Dark World a lot more enjoyable than the very first Thor film. But what is Thor 2 about? Well, Thor 2 is set after the Avengers, obviously. Loki has been brought to Asgard to answer for his crimes for what happened in New York. And to top it all off, a mysterious, long-fought, extinct race called the Dark Elves return to mess up everyone's day. Basically, exactly why the Dark Elves are back, well, I won't spoil that. But let's just say it's for the sake of being evil. That's kind of like your classic villain, really, though. The villains are there to be evil. There isn't really a reason for it, but hey, I won't really spoil why they're doing it. Okay. So, this film, it was definitely more enjoyable than the first film, because it just seemed to have a lot more life. And plus, we got to see more of the 9 realms. They showed us a lot more locations. At the end of the film, there's this final fight between Thor and the main villain, and it was very creative. It was very creative. It wasn't just your run-of-the-mill good guy versus main bad guy fight. It was actually done pretty well, and I think it definitely grabbed your attention. Now, make no mistake, this film's strongest aspect is Loki. Every scene with Loki is great. He definitely takes all the attention in each scene he's in, and he brings it upon him, because he has this stage presence, and he's definitely the villain that made the event. I think he's definitely the villain that you really want to see in every Marvel film, because Loki, every time Loki comes in, things are just going to go belly up for our heroes. But Tom Hiddleston, he's a great actor, and every time Loki's on screen, you pay attention to Loki. That's the thing. With the other characters, sometimes, you're with them, you're not necessarily with them. But with Loki, you are always paying attention when Loki comes on screen. So, I think that Thor 2, Thor 2 is one of those rare instances where a sequel is better than the original. That's kind of amazing, though, because usually when you get a series of films, the sequel is worse than the first one. Take, for example, Iron Man 2 compared to Iron Man. Iron Man was great, but Iron Man 2 was not so great. With Thor, it's kind of the opposite. With being Thor 1 being and Thor 2 being yes, it's fantastic. At least compared to the first one. But would I recommend that you're going to see Thor 2? Yes. If you're a fan of the Marvel films, then you've already seen it, quite frankly. But it is still a popcorn film. You're not necessarily there to pay too much attention to the story, because there isn't really a lot of depth to the story. But it's very much a fun action film. And I think that alone is definitely well worth your time, especially if you like action movies. So, yep, go see Thor 2, Dark World. It's really, really good. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.